Dear colleagues, dear fellow SLPs, my name is Lagle Lehes. I am a speech and language pathologist from Estonia. I work as a clinical speech and language therapist in Tartu University Hospital. As well, I work as a lecturer in speech and language therapy in Tartu University. Today, I'm going to talk about transformation in speech and language therapy, meaning the shift from traditional therapy to digital therapy. So we will start with the description of advantages and disadvantages of teletherapy. Using the term teletherapy, we mean simultaneous therapy via internet and computer. Next, we talk about implementing teletherapy in Estonia. Third, I will give you tailored online therapy approaches for different age groups. And last, I will just let you know about the different 3 therapy platforms or ideas for speech and language therapy online. But first, I will clarify the terminology. When we talk about teletherapy or online therapy or digital therapy today, I mean a session that occurs through secure video connection between a child and a child's therapist. It is an innovative therapy approach. It's synchronous, and a therapist will engage with a child via a two-way live video. Teletherapy sessions are conducted in the same format as an in-person sessions. Teletherapy became increasingly popular during the COVID-19 pandemic period. But first, let's talk about advantages and disadvantages of online therapy. First, advantages. Flexibility. I think it is the most important advantage of a new way of carrying out therapies. Flexibility means flexible scheduling. Sessions can be attended from any location, making it easier to fit into daily routine. Next, accessibility. Teletherapy is accessible from anywhere with an internet connection. It is ideal for those in remote or rural areas where there is no speech and language therapist, or for those people who have mobility issues. Next, effectiveness. Teletherapy has been proven to be as effective as in-person therapy for many speech and language therapy therapists. And suitability. It's adaptable for all ages, including quite young children, even preschool children. But as there are advantages, there are also disadvantages. The most important disadvantage that we face every day is privacy. People may have concerns about sharing their sensitive information online. We may have potential security threats. For example, computer viruses, hackers, theft of devices, unsecured electronic files, or phishing scams. That are the aspects that we have to deal when we carry out teletherapy. Next is cost. In many countries, insurance providers do not cover online treatment. So you have to make sure that it is covered and you get paid for the work you have done. Next is technology, especially familiarity with the technology. Teletherapy requires technology skills or at least a certain comfort level, handling email, downloading applications, and filling out online forms. Of course, when you work with young children, then their parents have to be aware of these aspects. But not everyone feels comfortable with technology. Distractions. It can be harder to focus and eliminate at-home distractions. For example, the noise of younger siblings, running dogs, or whatever there may happen or going on. And the last, but not the least, is therapeutic process. We may have children who need complex approach. Some children need team who work with them. It means higher severity that need a team approach that offers in-person intensive services. Through the screen, therapist sees only a part of the other person or the child, and therefore the therapy may not be as effective as the face-to-face therapy. We may miss some aspects that are not seen through the screen. For example, we can see maybe their hands fidgeting, some nervousness. We may not notice all the signs of body language. Efficacy of the teletherapy has been proven. Research has shown that the outcomes of speech and language therapy treatment delivered via teletherapy are comparable to those of in-person therapy, are comparable to those in-person therapy. So we have comparable outcomes. Next, we can say that the patients and therapists are satisfied. The convenience, reduced travel time, and flexibility in scheduling are the significant advantages to this satisfaction. Families, especially those in rural or undeserved areas, also appreciate the increased access to services that teletherapy provides. Third, improved access and cost effectiveness. Teletherapy has been shown to improve access to care, particularly for individuals in remote locations and those with mobility issues, and positive impact on specific disorders. Teletherapy has been effectively used for various speech and language disorders, including voice, dysphagia, and speech delays. For instance, studies have shown that remote voice and language therapy and interventions are reliable and viable. Next, we talk about implementing teletherapy in Estonia. In Estonia, speech and language therapists had to recognize their daily work issues during COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Therefore, the implementation of teletherapy became popular in Estonia. In 2021, we conducted a research to investigate the experience of implementing teletherapy. We included 65 speech and language pathologists, and we found out that only 25% of them performed teletherapy before COVID, and 75% of them performed teletherapy post-COVID, though the increase was enormous. And I think it has increased gradually up today. Estonian SLPs brought out some main advantages that they saw during their daily work with the patients. First, it was parental involvement. In Estonia, most SLPs or speech and language therapists work in kindergartens where they can't see parents on daily basis. So when they worked via online, the parents had to be there because of the usage of technology. And therefore, our speech and language pathologists felt that parents were more involved. But then, as the general information already said, our speech and language pathologists brought out that getting help didn't depend on distance. That was very good. When we talked about environment, then some research brought out that the home environment may be distractive, but our speech and language pathologists brought out that home is comfortable for the child. The environment is familiar and they feel good being at home and working from home. And the last one that our speech and language pathologists brought out was continuity of care, meaning that it is easier to maintain regular and consistent therapy sessions, which can be crucial for the therapy progress. But also there were disadvantages that our speech and language pathologists brought out. First, unstable internet connection and challenges related to the use of technology. But they also brought out that the making a good contact, like the first contact, that's first impression with a child, was quite difficult. That it is easier to make a good contact with a child during the face-to-face therapy. Actually, that's why during now our therapy processes go like this, that the first therapy session is usually face-to-face, and then we switch to online therapy if needed. Based on the answers of Estonian speech and language therapists, the teletherapy is suitable for the children who have articulation disorders, myofunctional disorders, voice disorders, resonance disorders that are related to velopharyngeal dysfunction, motor speech disorders, for example, apraxia of speech and dysarthria, stuttering, and developmental language disorders. But as well, there are some aspects or some disorders where the teletherapy is not suitable. For example, for oral motor examination, we can't see all the aspects. Then it's not suitable for children with intellectual and behavioral disabilities. They just can't sit behind the computer. And then children with hearing and visual impairment. The Estonian Health Insurance Fund has actively supported the implementation of teletherapy. Teletherapy sessions are funded on the equal basis compared to face-to-face therapies. The Estonian Health Insurance Fund has conducted many pilot programs to determine the best practices and guidelines for implementing teletherapy across various fields, including speech therapy. And that makes it easier for us to carry it out. Next, I will give you a quick overview of different approaches for specific age groups. And I will talk about preschool children and school-age children. So you can use some aspects that are meant for school-age children, for your preschool children as well. First, preschool children, early childhood. The focus areas are language development, meaning encouraging vocabulary growth and sentence structure, then articulation, and then social skills. We have to enhance early social communication skills. And what can we do? What are the approaches for these focus areas? First, and the most important, is parent involvement or involvement of caregivers. We actively involve parents in sessions, helping to facilitate exercises and reinforce learning outside of sessions. Very important is interactive play to keep the children behind the computers. We use games, songs, and playful activities to engage young children. And we have to use visual aids. We have to use pictures, storybooks, and short videos to illustrate concepts and encourage speech practice. For examples, the easiest game we have, and one of the most gold standard games, is show and tell. I ask my patients, my children, to look around the room where they are and locate an object and describe it to me. They may go and get their favorite toy. They have to come back and sit down. They have to listen and wait for their turn, and then they can show and talk about their toy or a game or whatever they found, whatever object they have brought in. Then we may play a game, for example, a board game that we both have. Then we can just play the game through screen, through video. We can talk about pets. It's always a great way to connect with a child through a pet. And the same with cooking and sharing recipes, I think. Then when we talk about school-age children, we have to support their reading and writing skills alongside their speech goals. We have to improve their social communication. We have to help them to understand social cues. And of course, we have to deal with the specific disorders, for example, stuttering or articulation disorders or language delays. What can we use? We use interactive software. We use different apps designed for speech therapy or software or whatever games we have made by ourselves. We integrate homework to our therapy sessions to reinforce learning and get everything done, because children do not have enough time, for example. And we use games, game-like activities that are targeted to the aspects that we have to receive or perceive. And what can we use? What are the games or examples? These are the games that you could use with preschool children as well. First, for example, a game, I Spy. You can play it one-on-one with a child or with a group of kids, in the case if you have a group therapy sessions. One person identifies a common object in the room, then gives a set of clues to help the child guess the name of the object. If the child guesses the name of the object, they'll have to use the word in a sentence. And also we may model the sentences, what kind of sentence we are targeting. This game sharpens a child's social and listening skills as well and helps practice sentence fluency. But of course, we may use this pre-made sheets for I Spy game if we target specific vocabulary or specific phonemes. Then we just pick specific pictures and we can use these for I Spy game. Then we can use word search games, different puzzles that we don't, even if the child doesn't read yet, but for example, we want to teach the child some letters. We can use letters in the puzzle game as well. Mirror exercises. These exercises are specifically designed to deal with articulation issues. Most children with articulation difficulties do not know how to move their mouth to make different sounds. We can let the child face a mirror as they sound out words, for example, on flashcards. This will help them to see how the mouth moves as they make a particular sound. And the last one, also one of my all-time favorite, is memory games or peer matching games. You may do like a base for this memory game and just add some new pictures or words that you're targeting or the phonemes that you're targeting and use these pictures on the game. And then if you're targeting a phoneme, you may tell the child that you have to say the words, for example, 3 times, or you have to, when you're targeting a specific a sentence, then you can model the sentence and the child have to repeat the sentence or make up a sentence. And then you can engage this child very, very easily. I think these are the gold standard exercises for school-age children, but you can use the exercises for preschool children as well. And what are the websites? When I work with a child online, I usually use Zoom platform, but I know that there are many, many different platforms. But Zoom is very convenient. You can use it for free up to 40 minutes, and you can share everything you have, slides, worksheets, whatever. When I prepare for the therapy session and when I make some games or tools that I want to use, I use PowerPoint a lot and I use Canva. And as I said earlier, I just make one game and then I start changing the pictures on the game. I change the pictures that are tailored the specific target that I have planned for a child. Then there is a word wall website. You can Google it. It's for free for up to 5 games or something, but it's also very cheap to have this regular making up these games there. Then you can use different puzzle makers and cartoon makers. There are many different cartoon makers that you can use for free for some amount. And these are the best things for little patients. There are many different, I have just brought out some, and just go and have fun with the programs. That was my last slide. Thank you for your listening. And if you want to contact me, here is my email address.